Hi students, Logan Phillips here, Professor P. Alright, in this video we're going to be talking about the Simnet environment, specifically the Microsoft Excel projects. So today we're going to be working on guided project, and let me pull it up, make sure we're doing the right one. 1-3, so Simnet Microsoft Excel 2019 in practice, Chapter 1, guided project 1-3. To start us off, let's go ahead and just open up into the Blackboard environment. Excuse me. For my students, we'll see how to get there. So of course we always start at our announcement page. We come down to the assignment modules, and then if you're in the concepts course, it will be module Excel. If you're in an Excel course, it will be Chapter 1 Excel. So with our Excel module, we can see that if we just scroll on down, we have the guided project 1-3. Once we open that up, we will open up into the Simnet environment, and you will go into a place that looks like this. Now please remember, if everything I do is on a PC, if you're using a Mac, you will have different menus and whatnot, so you will need to modify it to a Mac, but we will be working on a PC for today. Looks like we have one single start file. We have no supporting documents, so we're just going to go ahead and download that and begin. Now, when we're working on these assignments, please remember that I may make mistakes. I'm doing these for the first time, a lot of times for the first time in a long time. So I may make mistakes. Any mistakes I make, I will modify and clean and show you how to deal with those at a later date or at the end of the video. Alright, looks like we have our views. We've got a four-way split screen on this document. First thing we're going to do is hit Enable Editing. Now, we are working through a set of skills here. You can see them, and we have our instructions down below. Looks like we have about 18 steps from top to bottom with a few sub-steps, nothing too big. Now I am working on a split screen, so I'm going to move my instructions to my left-hand side, so you will see me split between the two screens. I strongly suggest that you print off the instructions and have them in front of you so you can check mark, or if you're on split screen, keep the instructions on one side and the working document on the other. Now the very first step we're going to do here is we are going to go to our backstage view. Excuse me. Let me get a drink. Alright, so we got that out of my throat. And we're going to go to our backstage view. We're going to do a save as. Now the reason I'm doing a save as, of course, is because when you download it, it automatically goes to your downloads folder. I don't want to work from my downloads folder. Things get mixed up. I'll have a lot of students who will upload the wrong document if they do that. So I'm going to tell you to download it and save it to your desktop. Leave the name the same and hit save. So that takes care of the first few steps. We now have the document. It should say your name at the top. Wherever shoes -01 Excel, and we are now working. We got a single sheet, so we're only working on one sheet, and we got our view here. Looks like we're split into two different ways. So we got a nice T here. Alright, so we're going to working with opening and saving a workbook. We're going to change the zoom side. We're going to remove these splits. We're going to freeze some planes, format labels and values. We're going to use the fill handle to copy formulas down, which is one of the most extremely valuable tools. We're going to do our check spellings, apply workbook themes, cell styles, and font attributes. We're going to merge and center some labels. We're going to insert columns, adjust columns, widths, and heights. We're going to adjust align indents and borders. We're going to name the sheet, and we're going to use a page layout. Now, because this is Microsoft Excel Chapter 1, I want to give you a quick refresher. We know that we have at the top the ribbon. Inside the ribbon, we have different tabs with different controls. Inside the ribbon itself, we have different working groups. So we have like the Home tab, font grouping, and then we have a working group dialog box launcher. So Home tab, font working, bottom right hand corner opens the dialog box launcher. We have the Format Cells dialog box launcher, and that will have more controls, more advanced issues. So when you're hearing me talk, I will say something like it's in the Formulas tab, in the Functions grouping, or if it's in the Data tab, in the Sort and Filter grouping, so you can understand where I'm working from. We work from the ribbon, and then into the groupings, and then every so often we get into the dialog box launchers, which are on the bottom right hand side of different areas. Now this is Excel, so we have columns up and down. We have rows to the left and right, and where a row and a column meet, we have an individual cell. So A1, A1. The cells are named. You can see here A1. We can actually jump to cells. So let's say we want to jump to cell B6. We can jump straight to it. So we have some navigation here on the left hand side. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to hit Control and H, or Control and Home, making sure I'm right back on my cell A1, and then I'm going to start at the very beginning of this. So we've already done step 1. And next, we're going to remove these split screens. While they are useful sometimes, this is really annoying, so we don't want them here. So we're going to click on the split button, which is in the View tab in the Windows grouping. So we got the Home tab, View tab, and then the Windows grouping. And we're going to just hit that split button and get rid of those stupid splits. So now we have one data sheet with all of our data in it. All right, we're going to click on the A4 and we're going to freeze columns to this position. So let's go to our column A, row 4, and we're going to find the cell that matches that, so A4, and we're going to lock the columns titles at this position. So to do that, we're going to click the freeze button, which is on the View tab, Windows grouping. So we have A4 selected, Windows tab, View tab, Windows grouping. I promise I won't stumble over my information over and over again. And we're going to click on the freeze panes. And we're going to choose a solid border. So let's go ahead and freeze pane. Alright. So the reason we did this, I want you to understand, we now have this dot line here. Excel works typically on the cell before. So if I'm going to insert, it's typically to the left. If I'm going to freeze something, it's typically above. So we had checked on cell A4 because we wanted to freeze row 3. And so now when we do this, the row 3, the titles, will actually be frozen. If I would have selected A3, only the current stock line or the row 2 would have been frozen. So that's why we went ahead and went A4 and then View tab, freeze panes, freeze panes. Alright, so we're done with steps 2 through D. Next we're going to go scroll to line 31, or row 31. So let's go down here, row 31. We're going to select cell E31. So of course, where the E column and the 31 row meet, it should be a value of 0. And we're going to type a 3. Easy enough. So we're just modifying that one number in cells E31. Next, we're going to hit our Control Home, go back up to our A1 tab. Notice that it took you back to A4 instead of A1 because that's where the table is frozen at. Alright, we're on to step 3. We're going to change the zoom size and unfreeze the pane. We're going to click the 100% button, which is on the View tab Zoom group. So again, we're in the View tab Zoom group. We're going to zoom to 100%. Now you can also accomplish this in the bottom right hand corner. You can see that there's 100% down here. You can zoom in or zoom out as needed. Sometimes if you're hard of seeing or just like to be able to view things a little bit bigger, you can do that. So let's go ahead and make that to 100%. We're going to click on the freeze buttons, View tab Windows group, View tab Windows group, and the freeze panes. And we're going to unfreeze this. So now when we scroll up and down, we have the values up here. The titles are actually moving with everything else. And let's click on cell A1. So I can either go to column A, row 1, or I can just type in A1 into my cell and jump straight to it, or I can just hit Control and Home and take me back to that cell. Alright, we're now into step 4. We're going to check spelling in the workbook. We're going to click the spelling button, which is the Review tab Proofing group. So let's go Review tab, and we're going to do the Proofing group, and we're going to check the spelling. Now the reason we moved to A1 for this review is because Excel reads from top to bottom, left to right, just like you're reading a book. If you would have been on cell A24, it would have started there and read down, but it would never have checked the top level stuff. So that's why we went back to the A4. And we're going to find the first occurrence of hiking is found as misspelled. We're going to choose hiking as the chosen the value, and we're going to choose to change all. Okay. So we got rugged hiking boots instead of rugged hiking boots. Alright, so we have now done step 4. Let's move on to step 5. We're going to click on cell H4. Now again, I can go up to column H, find row 4, find the value, or I can just come up here and type in H4, jump straight to the cell that I'm needing, and we're going to modify this. Alright. Now this has a formula in H4 of E4 times G4. If I click on the formula, it will actually highlight the cells that it's dealing with, and it will color code them. So G4 G4, E4, E4 is in blue. So we're going to do E4 times G4 gives us the value. Alright, so what they're wanting us to do here is use a copy cell formula down, or a drag handle. So, or a fill handle, I'm sorry. We're going to click on that cell H4. In the bottom right hand corner, you can see this little green square. We're going to click and just drag it down, left click and hold your mouse, down to cell E or H39. And what that's done is drag that formula down, but because it's not absolute referenced, it will actually change value as we go each one down. So E5, G5, E6, G6, E7, G8. As you can see, it copied it down, but moved the formula down one row. Now, another way you could have done this, I'm going to hit Control Z to back up a little bit, is I could go to the bottom right hand corner of that fill handle and double click my mouse and have it automatically drop to the bottom of my table. Either way works. It's really up to whatever you want. So let's hit Control Home again and take us back to our home. And we are now done, I believe, with step 5. Yep. Let's go to step 6. We're going to go to the Themes button. So let's go to the Page Layout tab, Themes. So Page Layout tab, Themes. We're going to open up the Themes button, and we're going to choose a theme of Ion. Now typically these are in alphabetical order, sometimes they're not, so just find the theme Ion. And we're done with step 6. Let's go to step 7. We're going to start making this look a little bit prettier. We're going to select cells A1 through J1. So A1 through J1. Now I am using my control or my shift button and arrows. It's a little bit faster than the mouse. It's really up to you. We're going to merge these cells into one. So let's go to Home tab. And we're going to go to the alignment grouping, and we're going to merge and center. You can see it's merged the A1 through J1 into one mega cell. We're going to do the same thing through A2 through J2. Home tab, alignment group, and merge and center. We're done with step 7. Let's move on to step 8. We're going to select the cell A1. We're going to click on the Cell Styles button, or the More button, which is the Home tab Styles grouping. So Home tab Styles grouping. We're going to come over here, and we're going to choose, let's see, the More button in the bottom right hand corner. And for this title, we are going to check the title. So let's go here to Titles. It's underneath the Titles and Heading grouping. We're going to choose Title. We're going to select cells A2, which is that second mega cell, and we're going to do Heading Style 4. So Home tab Styles grouping, More down, and we're going to choose Heading Style 4. There we go. Next, we're going to click the font size arrow on the Home tab font group and select 14 point. So we're still selecting cells A2, and we're going to choose a font size and choose 14 point. So Home tab font grouping, do the drop down for font, choose 14 point. Alright, we're going to next point to the row 1 heading and drag to select rows headings 1 and 2. So we're going to select both headings 1 and 2. We're going to click the Format button and choose row height. Alright, so up here with both of these selected, we're going to go Home tab and Cells grouping. Let's see, it should be the right hand side. Formatting, and we're going to come down here to column height. Row height, there we go. And we're going to change the row height to 22. And hit enter or OK. Next, we're going to select cells A3 through J3, so our titles for our columns. Again, I'm using my shift button and my arrows. It's just a little bit more precise. We're going to go to the cell style gallery, and we're going to select light yellow 40% accent 3. So again, Home tab, styles, and we're going to choose light yellow 40% accent 3. So let's go Home tab font grouping, and we're looking for light yellow. That's gold. Let's see. Cell styles gallery. Okay, that one was reading just a little wrong to me. So let's go to the Home tab Styles grouping, go More, And we're going to choose accent style, and we're choosing light yellow 40% accent 3. So we got 40% accent 3. It's the third column in, and we got a fill there. We're going to apply the bold to the selected cells. So we're going to Home tab, font grouping bold, and we're going to click the row 3 heading. So all right, so from here, we're going to go to step 8J, click the row 3 heading. And what that means is not the headings of the row or columns. We're actually going to come over here and select the number 3 on the left-hand side, which selects to infinity every cell inside row 3. And we're going to drag this down. We're going to drag it down to a row height of 21 points. So from here, we can actually go down to the bottom where your mouse turns into an up and down with a bar in the middle. We're going to click and hold it with our left mouse, and we're going to drag it down to 21. Now this can get irritating if you're not real precise, but we'll get it pretty close. Okay. And so it looks like we are now done with step 8. And we need to zoom out to see all the rows. So we can do this a couple different ways, but the way I'm going to show you is the bottom right hand corner. We're at 100% right now. We want to zoom out just a little bit at a time, so let's just zoom out until we see all the rows. Mine's at 90%. Yours might be a little different depending on how big your monitor is. We're now on to step number 9. We're going to select cells D4 through F39. So D4 through F39. And so I'm using, again, my shift keys and my arrows. It's just found it to be easier. If you use your mouse, it can speed up extremely quick and get away from you. We're going to click the center button, which is on the Home tab, alignment grouping, and we're going to choose center. And we're going to select cells G4 through H39. So let's go to G4 through H39. And we're going to click the accounting number format. So up here in the Home tab, in the number grouping, we're going to choose the drop down, and we're going to choose an accounting number format. Next, we're going to select cells A3 through J39, so the entire table. And we're going to do a borders, and we're going to select all borders. So Home tab, font grouping, we're going to choose the borders dialog box. We're going to choose the all borders option. And we're going to, with everything selected, we're going to change this to a font size of 12. So again, Home tab, font grouping, font size of 12. We're going to select cells B4 through C39. And we're going to increase the indent button on the Home tab alignment group 1 time. So Home tab alignment group, we're going to choose to increase the indent 1 time. So you can see here you have a little back indent and an increase indent. We're going to click it 1 time. We're going to select columns A through J next. So this is talking about columns, not cells. So we're going to come to the very top, click on the letter A, drag it over to J. Now this highlights everything infinity in all these columns. We're going to double click the border between J and K to auto fit now. So let's go between J and K, and you can see my column, our cursor has turned into a left right arrow. Just double click it, and it's going to auto fit all the data inside the worksheet. And next we're going to select and center align the labels in row 3. So let's go ahead, row 3, we're going to select everything, and we're going to center align those as well. Alright, we are now on to step 10. We are going to right click column B heading. So again, we're at the heading, so column B, right click. And we're going to choose the insert. So we're going to choose insert. And we're going to choose now in cell B3. And again, this is what I told you about earlier, that things tend to insert to the left or above in Excel. So we chose column B because we wanted a new column B that replaced it. So on B3, we're going to type in disk with a question mark. All right, we're now on to step 10, so let's right click on the column heading B. We've inserted in and we got the disk. So in cell B4, we're going to type in no, B5, no, B6, yes. Now we are paying special attention to make sure that we are typing exactly as written in that red. We don't forget anything, correct capitalization, everything else. In B6 is a yes. And then we're going to select cells B4 through B6. Okay. And we're going to select, and we're going to hit the fill pointer in the bottom right hand corner. Let's see. Should be 2 occurrences no, 1 occurrence yes. I've lost my place a little bit. I'm sorry. So we right clicked. We've gone here, here. What was the step we're looking at? Okay. Now we're going to click cells B4 through B6. We're going to come to our Home tab. We're going to go to our Alignment Grouping. We're going to hit the Indent Twice button. And we're now on to step 10H. We're going to select the cells B4 through B6 again. And we're going to double click on the fill pointer. So duplicating this pattern all the way down. And you can see it's 2 instances of no, 1 instance of yes. Next we're going to select cells A4 through A39. So A4 using the shift and down arrow to A39. And we're going to increase the indent 1 time. So Home tab, Alignment Group, increase indent. And let's hit Control 8 Home and go right back to the home. Okay. We have now completed step 10. Let's go to step 11. We're going to click the Sheet 1 tab in the bottom left hand corner. We're going to double click it so it's highlighted. And we're going to type in inventory. And hit enter. Next, we're going to do step 12. We're going to click on the page layout button in the status bar. And we're going to click the center header section, header and footer icon. So let's go up here to page layout and open up the center header section, header and footer. And I'm messing up on all my words right now. So page layout, and we're going to choose header and footer. Let's see, where's it at? Sorry, I got word on my mind. So let's go here to View tab. We're going to go to the Page Layout view. So let's click on Page Layout. And now we're going to insert a headers and footers using this view. So let's go up to the first page, do the center one where our header is active. Okay. Alright, so it doesn't look like they're actually wanting us to insert anything. Give me 1 second to read this. Okay, it looks like they just wanted you to know how to click on the header. So for the header, all you gotta do is click on it. It's in the top once you go into the page view. For the footer, you can go the same thing in the middle, page view. You can also come up to the header and footer tools, header and footer, and we're going to go into the footer on the header and footer grouping. We're going to choose footer, and we're going to insert into the foot of the document file name button in the header and footer. So let's go file name. All right, so let's go footer, and we're going to do file name. There it is. So you're going to have to look through these and just find it. I have the file name right here. All right. You could also do the code. You can see it's and bracket file bracket. And we're going to click Worksheet Excel to see the file name. And we're going to switch to normal view and press Control Home. So let's go back to the view. We're going to go, well, first we're going to click out of the footer. We're going to go to View. We're going to go to Normal View. We're going to hit Control and Home to go back to our home. And we have now put a footer in on step 12. Now it doesn't look like it needed a header, just a footer. Now you can really see where this is applies because on the file backstage view, if we did a print, you'll be able to see that there's a footer here, but no header. All right, next we're going to change the page setup options. We're going to click on the page layout tab. You can see that it was printing on 2 pages, but the program make us print it and then layout on 1. So let's go and click on the page layout tab on the page setup launcher. So page setup dialog box launcher in the bottom right hand corner. And we're going to change this to a landscape. So we're going to choose the landscape. We're going to fit the radio button in our page 1 by 1. So we're going to go to fit and 1 by 1. And we're going to hit OK. And we're going to hit Control and Home, get back into that top of the document again. And we are now done, I believe, with step 13. Next, we're going to choose in step 14, we're going to select cells A1 through K11. So A1 through K11. There we go. We're going to go to the Page Layout tab. We're going to click on the Print Area button. And we're going to set print area. Okay. And then let's hit Control Home again, bring us back to the house. And click on the File tab and Print View. File tab, Backstage View, Print. We can see here we now have landscape, we have a footer, we have a nice yellow, a title. It's all fit on 1 page, and it looks pretty good to me. So let's return to the backstage, or return to the regular view. And we're now on to step 15. Let's go ahead and save this document, and let's upload it, see how we did. So go ahead and close that out. We're going to come back over to Simnet. We're going to choose to upload my file. Remembering that I might have made some mistakes. If I did, we will fix them. It's not a big deal. I believe that was Evershoes 1. And I can see the preview. It looks like the one I was working on. So we hit OK. We'll submit the file. And we got 100%. So we're good to go. So 27 minutes, and that's with me jabbering on. Follow along, you should get 100%. Everything should be good. Make sure you check those. The couple of steps are a little bit confusing. The header does not need to be inserted. It just needs you to see where that is. And remember that when we're inserting things into Excel, it typically is inserted to the left or above. Guys, I'm Logan Phillips. This is Microsoft Excel Simnet Guided Project 1-3. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'm here for you. Bye, guys.